Hello everyone, Drew here for Drew Entertainment, coming at you with episode number 11, I believe, for Breaking Rocks. On today's episode, I have, as usual, my younger brother Desert Nord joining me. Hey bro.
Hey there, how you doing?
And on today's episode, we got four things that have been festering for a while that we want to discuss. A video by Dave Chapelle recently talking about all of the controversy and what's been happening with him with getting canceled or partially canceled.
It was an attempt, I would say.
Yeah. And all that. We want to talk about the World Series, hence, well, the reason I'm wearing the hat that I'm wearing is I went looking through my collection of hats for an Atlanta Braves hat because of the World Series. And I then discovered, oh, I still have a Cleveland Indians hat. So that's why I'm wearing it.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about the World Series and the fact that Trump was there doing the tomahawk chop and all that. The Twix commercial we'll go over as well. That recently have been reported by Geeks and Gamers, Patriot Outpost, the Greg Gutfeld Show, and many others.
Yeah, many people have talked about that one, yeah.
And finally, the elephant in the room, the thing that everybody's talking about, Alec Baldwin and the shooting on set of the movie Rust. So,
Yeah.
with that being said, before we get into Dave Chapelle, I do want to shout a couple people out first. One person is a new follower on Twitter for me, and also as far as he told me in his recent stream of playing something on his YouTube channel, as far as he told me that he had done during his stream, new subscriber to you, Desert Nord, Phil TMNT.
Oh, okay.
So he's someone from the community that I've interacted with. I've played Mario Kart with him countless times. So, and coincidentally, he and I started becoming friendly more so when I created a female version of him for Mario Kart to play as.
Yeah.
So that's when our friendship kind of started, when I gave him tits and a pussy in Mario Kart.
Yeah, you won't put it that way.
And his reaction was, I'm impressed.
Yeah, of course.
Someone actually made a female version of me. Now, I made a female version of myself to beat him to the punch as well, but I digress. And also, I want to recognize the Sniper Elite mod from my Twitch channel, Chunk the Punk.
Yeah.
All but one stream so far on Twitch that he's been there, and from the very beginning I made him a mod on my Twitch channel. Every stream but one, he has gotten to the bot or spammer in the chat long before I ever even knew that there was one. As in the spam messages were gone and they were banned immediately before I even knew they were even there.
Uh-huh.
The only time that didn't happen was the very first stream that he was the mod for. I'm like, hey Chunk, there's a spammer in the chat. He's like, got it.
Yep, top-notch modding.
Yeah. So shout out to Chunk the Punk. Basically the mod who's there for literally every stream that I do on Twitch. Outside of two recently, but the last one I did, he was there for. And again, the Sniper Elite got the job done, so shout out to Chunk the Punk.
Yep.
So with all that being said, something else that's a tradition for everyone in the community. Shout out to Drunk 3PO.
We always do that, huh?
Well,
Yeah.
I don't know if I told you the story or not, but
Yeah, you told me all about what went on with
yeah.
radio.
So shout out to Internet Dad, Drunk 3PO.
Yeah.
So with all of that said, basically now we have to shout out Dave Chappelle now.
Yeah.
So to recap, Dave Chappelle did some jokes in his stand-up special, The Closer, which I loved. The entire special, it was funnier than hell. And if you haven't had a chance to watch it, it's still up on Netflix.
Yeah, it's
So
I've watched plenty of clips and seen a lot the conversation was about.
yeah.
Or shall I say, not conversation, controversy.
Yeah.
That would be the better word.
And recently there's been a video on YouTube of Dave Chappelle's response to all of this. And
Yeah.
as we know, the mainstream media reported that he was invited by the LGBT XYZ123 community to basically have a sit down and talk with them, but that he declined. That's what the mainstream media said. However, Dave Chappelle cleared it all up and went, "This is not true. I was not invited to anything. If I had been, I would have accepted."
Now, the media has been desperate to try and get this whole thing from sliding away from them. You know,
Yeah.
ever since they've made fools of themselves over at Netflix. First of all, not having the vast majority of them having not even watched it, but yet are intense critics of it.
Yeah.
And then those, I can't imagine watching it and still being offended. You have got to be one seriously dense individual to watch that, be part of the Alphabet Mafia, and be offended still. He literally declared he's your ally in the special. So what do you want from him?
I don't know. But as he
other than silence.
But as he pointed out, he was confused by the whole situation, that he didn't know what the whole hubbub was about, other than corporate interests and him not being allowed to say what he wants to say.
Yeah, he had pointed out in multiple places in his special that he is not just friends with, but he loves everyone. Like he's not trying to hurt anyone in any way or induce anyone else to hurt anyone. If they really think they are incredibly stupid, because it isn't. It's never been that. In fact, it's people not being able to take things lightly is why people get hurt. On both ends.
Yeah. And in that,
not taking things lightly.
Yeah. And in that sense, I think it's safe to say that Dave Chappelle and I have a few things in common on that front. Because he and I both do not want to offend people just to offend them. We want to get along with everybody. Only problem is that some people just don't want to get along.
No, people misconstrue a joke as an insult. That's what's going on here.
Indeed.
If they had watched this special, they would realize that at no point is he trying to hurt anyone, either their feelings or them personally. In fact, he's doing quite the opposite. He's trying to incorporate them and bring them into the fold, into the comedy fold, the comedy family.
Yeah.
That's what he's trying to do through the whole special. He's trying to get people to say, okay, since now we're not going to be up in arms about them being who they want to be, we can now laugh about them, laugh about ourselves, laugh about everybody, laugh at everybody, everybody laugh at us. Have it be a laugh circle. That's what Dave Chappelle wants. What do the Alphabet Mafia want at this point? Silence from everyone.
Yeah. And also,
which one of those sounds like the bad guy, honestly?
Yeah. And And also he did also mention that he did make a film that had previously been invited to a bunch of film festivals, and a number of them he did accept the invitations to. Then the closer released, and then because of this controversy, he got disinvited from all of them, and now no one will touch the film. So Dave Chappelle then announced that he's going to make it available for people to watch in 10 cities on,
Yeah.
on 10 different days or something like that.
Yeah, I also heard that he did a special with Rogan. That was a really full crowd.
Yeah.
And they had a great time. That was just a few days ago.
So with that said, I know that they're never gonna watch this video, but this is just me trying to do my part for whomever I can. Now I know Dave Chappelle isn't gonna want my help of all people, but I don't give a fuck. So with that said, the fuck's his name again from the Daily Wire?
Not sure which one you're talking about. And which person.
The guy that we all watch, the Jewish guy. I did not want to say that.
Shapiro.
Ben Shapiro.
Ben Shapiro.
Yes.
No, it's okay. It's okay to say the Jewish guy. That's what he is.
I know that, but I just don't like.
By identifiers.
I know that, but I don't like identifying people by shit like that. That's just the way I am.
But it helped me to immediately know what you were talking about, though.
I know that. That's between you and me, but, well, not anymore since we're recording. But,
sure.
Ben Shapiro, if you do see this, or Dave Chappelle for that matter, one of the best things that could happen is a partnership between the Daily Wire and Dave Chappelle to get this film out there properly. Just saying.
Yeah, I would. It would be really nice. It'd be a nice olive branch for pretty much everybody involved, so that there's an understanding that comedy is comedy, and comedians are supposed to be edgy, supposed to be line crossers, serial line crossers, which is the phrase Dave used.
Yeah.
They're supposed to be that. If they aren't that, they're not funny. Mm-hmm. They're not being a comedian. And they talk about platforms. They talk about using your platform for good. And it's like, how is it any good to coddle an entire group of people? How is that any good? Isolationism culturally is not good. And they say that. So what kind of crap is this?
It's cancel culture at its finest, or worst.
No, I mean, it's not wanting to be equals, but wanting to be equals. But essentially, it boils down to wanting to be supreme, not equals.
Yeah.
Because the only people who don't get joked about are the ones that are dangerous and can hurt people. That's who doesn't get joked about.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what they want to be? They want to be the dangerous people that hurt people? Because that's what they're bargaining for.
Speaking of dangerous people, another example of something that Tom McDonald said in the song "Brainwashed." We don't need to defund the police. We need to defund the media because they lie through their teeth. In regards to their coverage of the World Series, that's a pretty good. That's a pretty good segue, I think, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The first thing I will say, right off the bat, is about the initial controversy leading up to the whole thing, about where they were going to host it over the Georgia voting law, because the MLB was all up in arms about hosting it in Atlanta because of the Georgia voting law, which is somehow suddenly offensive, even though it's one of 50.
Well, first that was the All-Star game that got moved. Well, now they're forced to play the World Series there because the Braves are in it.
Yeah. No, I know. But they were threatening, they being the MLB was threatening to move the World Series also after having moved the All-Star game. for the same reason. But then they got pushback from their own side over it because their own side, the business owners that are in Atlanta, vast majority of them, as it turns out, are people of color.
Yeah.
And so moving the World Series would actually hurt more people of color than it would actually help. They suddenly realized that and went, okay, we're going to pretty much shut up about this now and host it there anyway.
Yeah.
You know. So that's what that all ended up being.
What's the name of the Major League Baseball commissioner again now?
Oh, one sec.
Because it used to, because I believe it used to be a guy named Bud Seeley.
Robert Manfred Jr., bro.
Okay, so to you, Robert Manfred Jr., this is my message to you on behalf of Drew Dad Entertainment. Dare I say on behalf of Desert Nord as well?
Sure.
My version of a tomahawk chop for you. And
yeah.
You'll see what I did when you watch this back later, bro. And I think
I'm reading your mind on that one.
Yeah.
Anyway, the other thing that you brought up about what went on is that World Series, the ceremony itself, has been very, well, actively woke, and but the fans have been incredibly the other way.
Yeah.
In fact,
and
they have actually been basically taunting the media through the whole World Series. And I think it's hilarious.
And then speaking of taunting the media, Game 4, Donald Trump was present for in Atlanta.
Yeah.
So.
And did the tomahawk chop heard around Twitter?
Well, heard? Seen.
Yeah, you know what I mean. They saw that and they were like, oh my God. And then, then we go back to the other controversy, paralleling all of this other controversy, which is, again, about the name, the Braves, and the team logo, and the...
Hence why, once again, like I said...
racial bull stuff, you know.
Like I said at the top, I thought I had an Atlanta Braves hat. I was looking for it because I want to support the Atlanta Braves because they're playing in the World Series because of all this bullshit. And then when I went looking through...
Imagine thinking the name Braves is a racial insult. Imagine thinking that. I can only fathom being that stupid for moments at a time without having a brain hemorrhage.
Like...
But,
but like I
aside from... if I may just say... People who have that opinion are very special. And I'm being as sarcastic as possible when I say that.
As far as I'm concerned, you can go ahead and say it. They are completely retarded.
Yeah, that too.
Not to be confused with people who have brain damage that have special needs. That's not what I'm saying. When I say retarded, I don't mean that. When I say retarded, I mean they're stupid, they're dumb fucks who don't...
They say things incessantly without thinking about any of it.
I don't think they're capable of thinking at all because I don't think they have a brain in their head at all. That's what
capability is definitely illustrated there.
That's the difference between special needs. They have a brain. It's not functioning properly, but they have one. Retarded people act like they don't have one at all.
Yeah, the thing is that one moment they want representation, and the next moment they want to erase the representation. So it's really hard to tell what the hell they want.
Yeah.
And I'm not even sure anyone should care anymore. I really don't know why anyone would bother caring what the Twitterverse wants anymore. Because they don't make any sense. They don't know whether they're coming or going. And they can construe literally anything as racist. Anything.
Speaking of things that they construe as that, back to what I was saying here. I thought I had an Atlanta Braves hat. I did not find one in my house, and when I went searching for it, I discovered, shit, I still have the Cleveland Indians hat, so that's why I'm wearing it. Basically as a fuck you to Major League Baseball, and also the fact that the Cleveland Guardians can't keep their name because there's a roller derby team in Cleveland by that name who own the rights to it.
Yeah.
So, like I have said, I've never said in the past, fuck you, it's the Cleveland Indians.
Yeah.
Come and take it.
And then we also have the Redskins in football, which is a travesty that they've caved into wokeness on theirs.
But with all of that said, back to the World Series, and actually positive side of it, what's the standings for the World Series right now? And who are the Braves actually playing? The Astros, right?
Yeah, the Astros.
Okay. Who's currently up? Because I believe Game 4 was what, last night or something?
ATL, the Braves lead 3-2.
Okay, so is there a game tonight or today?
I believe there would have to be, wouldn't there?
Okay, so the Braves in theory
it'd be game 6.
And I believe it would be in Houston then, right? Or is this the last one? Or is this the last one in Atlanta before they go back to Houston?
I'd have to look and see about that.
Because I would love to see the Braves clinch it in Georgia. So at this point, but then again, to be fair, I have nothing against the Houston Astros. I'm fine with either team winning the World Series. I just would love to see Georgia sticking it to the commissioner of Major League Baseball and Major League Baseball and all the fake woke pieces of shit on the internet.
Let's see.
By winning the World Series when they were stripped of the All-Star game during the same season.
Yeah, Game 6 is at Houston.
Okay, so they're at Game 5 today, right?
Yeah, Game 5 was last night. Game 6 is tomorrow at 5 p.m.
Okay, so there's no game today. So they're traveling today. Okay, so.
Correct. They were going from Atlanta to Houston today.
Okay, so the Braves could win it in Houston then. That's fine too, in theory. But,
yeah. But the worst part is, the funniest thing about all this is that going from Georgia to Texas, the media is still freaking out in both locations because they can't stand what's going on in either one of the states. And so they were like having this moral panic about, like you saw with Ace Ventura with 2 arrows in his legs, freaking out about one and then turning and freaking out about the other. It's essentially them freaking out about Georgia, but then freaking out about Houston, repeatedly going back and forth, speaking about one or the other. Is basically what the media is doing.
And it's an absolute joy to witness.
It's the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah.
It's got to be the dumbest damn thing I've ever seen. The media talk about how it's problematic where the World Series is being hosted, but they don't have a choice for moving it because both cities scheduled to host it were both problematic cities. I'm just like, you guys, you should all have your heads examined by professionals.
Speaking of having your heads examined by professionals, those that run the Twix company.
Yeah. Yeah.
Another good segue, I hope.
Yeah, it is good enough.
The Twix commercial depicts a boy who's wearing a dress outside of Halloween, gets made fun of it. He has a nanny who is obviously a witch, who seemingly kills a child in the commercial, where at least we're led to believe that might have been the thing.
No, that is a witch's reputation.
And then there's no, like, acknowledgement that it's a candy company.
Yeah, at all, ever, at any point, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't mention the name Twix that I remember in it. And this thing has been covered by D-Day Cobra, Patriot Outpost, I believe Heel versus Babyface. It was mentioned on Friday Night Tights, I'm pretty sure. Ben
Yeah.
Shapiro, Ben Shapiro, Greg Gutfeld, you name it. Everyone's been talking about this fucking thing.
Yeah, literally the Twix, brand is just saying, you know what, screw it, we're not even trying to sell Twix anymore, we're just virtue signaling.
And it first came to my attention in a Twitch streamer's live chat on the Twitch channel of Radio. Shout out to Radio. I believe she's live playing something right now on Twitch as well. So please go check out her Twitch channel. But although you guys won't know that till this is uploaded, and who knows if she'll still be live at that point, but just still go follow her anyway. So, and I know she's gonna hate that I'm promoting it, but I don't give a fuck because she's a very humble person. She doesn't like promoting her shit. She doesn't really like people promoting her either. But how the fuck are you gonna grow otherwise? Seriously.
Well, good content, apparently.
Well, she does have good content, and she's a very sweet girl, so.
Yeah.
But anyways, back to things that taste sweet, but probably not for much longer. Twix. I have loved Twix for years. Now I'm not going to waste my fucking time. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I may introduce a segue from that insane advertisement into something related also.
Go for
it. The freak out that just ceased finally over Halloween and the costumes once again.
Yeah.
Twitter had its usual freak out, as they do at every holiday now, for some various reason.
What were they freaking out about now?
In this case, the cultural appropriation of Halloween costumes. And it gave me pause again this year to remind myself of the hilarity of people talking about racism involving Halloween, when the entire holiday itself is cultural appropriation for anyone who isn't Norse, Celtic, or pagan.
Speaking of cultural appropriation, I attempted to do that on a Twitch stream the day before Halloween to advertise that I was going to be dressing up in a costume for a Twitch stream on Halloween to play Resident Evil Village, but I was wearing my luchador mask.
Yeah, there you go.
So I was cultural appropriating luchadors. Except for, guess what? There are white wrestlers who pose as Mexican wrestlers across the wrestling industry. So.
Oh, sure. Yeah, no, there's no valid offense to be found there. But boy, they sure scrape to the bottom, don't they? They sure find a little thin layer to scrape off to sniff it how bad it is, how thin that layer of offense is, and scream about it, don't they?
Yeah, they scream so hard that obviously all they do is lock themselves in a closet and smell their own farts.
Yeah, well, I just meant that imagine being so deep buried in the first world in your own lack of self-awareness and lack of understanding of your place that you think that this is a issue even worth discussing as offensive and needs to change and do better and all this other typical wokey talk. People, I mean, look, I don't even like the holiday. I don't even like Halloween. We know this. You know this. Everybody knows we know this. I don't even like the holiday. But
I don't care for it either. I just do things to try to draw attention to Twitch and YouTube for me.
But celebrating it at all is cultural appropriation.
Yeah.
For anyone who living in the Western Hemisphere, it's cultural appropriation to even celebrate the holiday. So
But no,
to then go
but
on to say, oh well, you can't wear that, you can't wear that, you can't wear this. It's like, who's even getting to say this? The crowd that deserves to say this is quiet. The crowd that shouldn't be saying anything is loudly yelling about it.
yeah,
It's ridiculous.
the crowd that
Whole thing.
should be saying it are the Celts and the Irish, right?
Yeah, I mean, unless you people are from either Ireland or Scotland or essentially the British Isles, I don't want to hear a damn thing about what you think about Halloween.
Except for, here's a fun fact for you guys: Desert Nord and I are trace amounts, but still, it's their part Irish ourselves.
Sure, our direct descendancy goes back to the British Isles in one section of our family.
Yeah.
So yes.
So, and
but you won't see me complaining about anyone wearing whatever they would like to, whenever they'd like to.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much, period. I don't even care about public nudity. Don't even care.
Whoa. Oh dear.
I'm just saying. So I'm not going to be the type of person who's saying, oh, well, they're wearing they're wearing something that only white people wear. That's offensive. It's like, everyone needs to shut the fuck up about this.
I think too it
because any other conversation about it is absolutely lacking self-awareness.
Unlike Desert Nord, he and I don't always share the same opinion about certain things, and I think that's probably the case about public nudity at this point.
My point being that they always do this at every holiday. They find some little wedge to pry their grubby hands in and pry up that hatred of the holiday because it's istophobic in some way.
No, I do want to say this publicly, though, that in the case of public nudity, Desert Nord does not care. I do care about public nudity. For example, if a good-looking girl is nude out in public, I care because fantastic thing happening right here. Does not happen in my experience.
I meant legally, bro. I meant legally, and I meant culturally. I didn't mean that. I didn't mean that it doesn't matter in the sense that I would have no reaction.
Well,
I would definitely have a reaction, but it doesn't matter to me in terms of offense. I wouldn't get offended. I wouldn't desire them to be forced to change.
You and I are
from my feelings.
You and I are complete agreement, but as I've said in previous videos, the type of people that you're listening to here on Breaking Rocks are two brothers who are libertarians.
Generally, yes.
As in, it's your choice to fuck up your life in whatever way that makes you happy, and no one should be allowed to tell you any different.
Sure, we don't have an overabundance of personal responsibility in our Western culture today. We have a overabundance of irresponsibility
and outrage, false outrage.
Yeah.
Speaking of outrageous situations by people who clearly smell their own farts, Alec Baldwin. Good segue or no?
No, yes. We have to talk about it. It absolutely has to be discussed.
So what happened was, from everything that I've gathered, Alec Baldwin is the lead producer for a movie called Rust, a Western, which I don't remember where it was being filmed, but that's irrelevant here.
In New Mexico.
New Mexico, okay. So,
yeah.
A state that no one gives a fuck about.
Around the Albuquerque area.
Anyway.
Sort of in the open desert, kind of.
According to the reports, well, how should I word this? An assistant, at least I think it was an assistant, right?
The cinematographer, Helena Hutchins.
Okay.
It's hard to say her name correctly.
Was shot and killed on set by Alec Baldwin using what was believed to be a Hollywood prop firearm, which it turned out to be completely real and fully loaded with actual ammunition. As on the contrary to initial reports of it was a dud gun, it had blanks in it, and she died later due to injuries. It's all convoluted with all reports and all that. But recent reports are saying that it was a gun that was used for target practice on like inanimate objects like minutes or hours before the incident happened by the actual armorer there.
There's tons of report. Yeah, the armorer was being irresponsible and apparently he has a reputation. The armorer was the female. There was the prop guy, or stunt guy, shall we say, which would be involved in any scene such as this. Who was got a reputation.
Quit misgendering people.
No. The two are very important figures in this situation. I just wanted to keep them separate.
Yeah.
For identification purposes, but basically the gist of it is that they were shooting bottles. / beer cans. Apparently it was, I think, beer cans.
Yeah.
A few hours with the gun in question.
Mm-hmm.
And they were supposed to swap out the bullets they were using for that purpose.
Yeah.
Which happens all the time in movie sets. Real bullets are used every now and then when no one else is going to be in the scene besides the person shooting. That happens all the time.
Yeah.
The prop people and the stunt people are supposed to coordinate, work together to make sure that at all times gun safety is being practiced.
Yeah.
In this case, the live rounds were not removed.
Yeah.
Which is unfathomable to someone who is in any way familiar with what goes on movie sets.
And on a side note that came to my attention like about an hour before starting recording this, the armorer in question, she apparently has had an issue with killing someone, getting someone else killed previously.
Yeah, and
as well.
And the stunt guy was also dangerous, according to his reputation.
And then Alec Baldwin released a video apologizing, which I did not watch because I wasn't going to waste my time.
Yeah, no kidding.
Because I had better things to do anyway. But from what I've been hearing, it's not even worth watching because it's bullshit anyway.
Sure. Essentially, though, the core of what occurred was during a scene where they were not actually firing the gun, apparently, in the scene. So that even makes it even more bizarre. They had called cut on the scene. The producer had called cut, or the director, had called cut, and at moments after that, Alec was doing his normal, decompress from the acting that he does, whatever that means. And he had turned and he was up close with the cinematographer and the executive, the director, whose name is Joel Souza, by the way. Mm-hmm. He got the bullet in him too. And apparently from 2 feet away, he jokingly pulled out the gun, and I guess as a retort from the director saying that we're going to have to do a reshoot on that scene, Alec pulled the gun out and said, "How about I shoot you?" And then he pulled the trigger with the gun pointed at Helena and Joel and blew her away and went right through her into Joel. That's what happened.
So if that really did what happened, that looks really fucking bad for Alec.
Indeed it does. Now, he definitely didn't know as far as anyone can tell. He definitely didn't know the gun was loaded, but he definitely didn't accidentally aim it at them. He deliberately aimed it at her and the director.
So you could charge Alec Baldwin with accidental murder.
It'd be probably involuntary manslaughter.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're still trying to investigate what to charge, if anything, or what wrongdoing went, who's responsible, what went wrong where, who to hold responsible for this.
First and foremost, I would hold.
I personally believe it's a complete comedy of errors from everybody down the line.
Yeah. Like I was saying, personally, I would start with the armorer, the one in charge of trying to keep everyone safe, because that person just did not do their job properly, at all.
Yeah, handing an actor a loaded gun when he doesn't know it's loaded is... I can't think of a worse thing you can do as the film set armorer. What else is worse? There's nothing worse than that. Aside from, I don't know, maybe actively taking a gun from your armory and just shooting everybody. Aside from that, I can't think of anything worse.
Yeah.
So this was just a major mistake by the armorer. And this guy who was not paying any attention, nobody checked to see if the gun was loaded, apparently, even after they knew the gun was being fired earlier with real bullets in it. Nobody thought to check the gun during the scene or after the scene or at any point in this whole mess.
Yeah.
It's pretty much exactly the same thing that went on with the Brandon Lee situation in The Crow, the film set of The Crow. Yeah. Same thing, essentially. Difference being that they were using rounds that didn't have anything but the primer on earlier with the gun in the Crow situation, and with the primer still in it, it put the bullet into the chamber of the gun, and then the armorer on that set didn't check the gun before the next scene where they loaded blanks, which still have powder but don't have a bullet, but the bullet was in the chamber, jammed in the chamber.
Yeah.
Well, as soon as they fired the blank, the bullet was no longer in the chamber. It was now in Brandon Lee's chest.
Yeah.
Well, abdomen. And they tried to save his life, but he was dead. He died.
Yeah. So, with that being said, there is a couple more things to discuss, because I decided that I'm not going to save them for a future episode of the Drew Dat Entertainment podcast here on the channel. We're just going to do them now instead. So with that said, Indiana Jones 5 has been delayed an entire year.
Yeah, we don't know what's going on that movie set either, do
we? We know what they intend, and delaying an entire year says to me that Disney probably is trying to avoid another Last Jedi or Disney sequel trilogy thing, which is actually a good idea for them.
Yeah.
So that's what that says to me, that people were catching wind of what they were planning. They're delaying it a year, hopefully to change shit for the better. But I'll believe.
Well, you'd like to think that,
but it's Disney, so yeah.
Yeah, do they ever really change things for the better?
Speaking of changing things, I don't know for the better, but we'll see how it goes. The Dolphins trade for Deshawn Watson from the Houston Texans.
Yeah.
Which I know is old news at this point, but we haven't had the chance to discuss that yet.
Yeah, well.
And with you being, is it safe to say, a loyal Texan fan still?
Oh, yeah, long-time Texans fan.
What are your thoughts on Deshaun Watson going to the Dolphins?
Well, since he had been accused of sexual assault that he was accused of,
yeah,
they've been trying to in some way get rid of the guy. Now, he is good at football, but we have seen this exact problem before. We've seen this exact problem with quite a few players. Now, the fact that another team would want to take him on after all that, I don't know why. I guess is this a Dolphins thing? They just like players that are like that, I guess. I don't know.
And on the other side of that coin, correct me if I'm wrong, but the top quarterback in Houston now is that Trevor Simeon now?
Well, it wasn't in the other game.
Because I just saw highlights in the break room at work on the NFL Network of him playing at the quarterback position for them.
They had Tyrod Taylor. Yes, well, yesterday they reported that Deshawn would be staying with the Texans past the deadline.
So what the hell's going on with this trade with the Dolphins then?
I don't really know, because you got two different sources, NFL.com and you got ESPN reporting two different things.
What is the NFL Network reporting?
NFL.com is reporting that the Dolphins and Texans are trying to work out a deal before the deadline. The ESPN article is basically saying that the Texans are set to keep him past the deadline. So I don't know if that means the same thing, or if those are different headlines, or if they're basically saying the same thing two different ways. It's confusing.
Once again, the mainstream media does not know what the fuck they're talking about.
The current lead quarterback his name is Davis Mills.
Okay.
Yeah, Davis Mills is his name. He did quite well in his last game that they had him in there.
Never mind. I was thinking of the Saints game between the Saints and the Bucks. Never mind. Wait.
Yeah.
With Trevor Simeon, because Jameis Winston went down with a knee injury, and then Trevor took over.
Yeah, that's where Simeon's at.
Never mind about the Texan thing with him.
Well, it still could be in the works, though.
When it comes to Watson going to Miami.
Yeah, it could happen still.
Well, we'll see. Not that I'm pretty sure that doesn't have any bearing on either one of us in fantasy football, so.
No, definitely not, no.
Yeah. Because in true football, I have Aaron Rodgers and Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
And in no bench, I have my soon-to-be come next year hometown quarterback for the Arizona Cardinals, Kyler Murray.
Yep.
So, at least...
Yeah, and they're doing great this year.
At least until the bye week, so...
Yeah, the Cardinals have been really amazing.
Yeah. So...
You can't be stopped as far as I can see.
And your quarterbacks in the two different leagues are...
Well, I got Mahomes. I'm in 3 leagues. And I had Justin Herbert. But I also have a backup that I've been starting aside from that. And that is Jeff Burrow. Or Joe Burrow. Sorry, not Jeff. Joe Burrow. Anyway, yeah, Joe Burrow has been my starter this past week here, week 8. Pretty good. But that's because he kind of has been doing better than Herbert. But
yeah, I've been starting Kirk Cousins because he's been performing like in the top 5 in fantasy scoring, so in true football. And Aaron Rodgers has been almost non-existent.
Yeah, but other than that, I've basically got Mahomes everywhere else.
Yeah.
So, but he was very disappointing last week. He was real bad.
Yeah. So with that,
he didn't score a touchdown.
Yeah. Which reminds me, I gotta check It's Monday, so I gotta check and see what happened yesterday in fantasy.
Yep.
So I gotta look into that, and I'll do that after we get done filming this.
Well, in our league, you are winning.
Well, that's good. Well,
it's not quite over, but you are leading.
But first of all, we're in 2 leagues, so which one are you talking about?
The one where it's, well, the one we created together. True football.
True football, okay. That makes sense then. But with that being said, since this is also the entertainment channel, I think we'll close out in an unusual way for Breaking Rocks here. Because normally we would check out a video from Tom McDonald or something that fits what we were talking about, but seeing as how the Twitch channel is taking off and people are now paying attention to the brand of Drew Dat Games, and because they are coming to me, I'm also directing them to you if they are a big fan of memes and whatnot, which a lot of them are. Then I'm directing them to you. So with that being said, taking the opportunity to basically highlight basically what we feel those people would like to check out from us.
If I may suggest one that you could queue up for the end here.
Okay.
I'll send you in to your phone here.
Alright.
1 second.
Is it one of your videos?
No. This is a 4-minute clip from Dave Chapelle.
I hope that we are allowed to get away with it then.
Yeah, no, it's not. I highly doubt there's anything copyrighted there.
Alright, let me check this message from him and then click the link to bring it up on YouTube. Hopefully I'm signed into the right thing here. Once the ads are done.
Yeah.
Alright. Quickly like that. Let's see if it comes up in the history here. Nope. I was signed into the other account there. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So I can bring that up on the PS4, which is hooked up to the same screen here, so people can watch that. So they just won't be hearing you for a minute at that point.
Yeah, that's all right.
So that being said, guys, we will check out this video on YouTube. Otherwise, after this, I think we'll end it after this as well with what we're going to be up to for future content on our channels. Alright, so here we go. The speech that shocked the world by Dave Chapelle. Okay, so here we go, guys.
I'm telling you, I'm on my kindness conspiracy. As long as I'm kind to people, if we live by an ethic of kindness, if we foster trust amongst each other, it will matter less what corporations and politicians say, because we'll be able to trust our society's cohesiveness. if you look at life, anything in life, through the framework of money, you'll miss most of the picture.
Yeah.
And you know, in business, especially this stage in our careers, you realize through the years, people play incentives. You know what I mean? That they're incentivized a certain way. That's the way they're going to behave. So what they want is never really surprising. How they get there is where all the surprises are. So I feel like I can forgive somebody for playing an incentive. It's disappointing. But what was so remarkable when I walked away from the show, right, is that it was against incentive. So people couldn't understand it at the time. It was so much money. How could you do that? And blah, blah, blah. But you know, if I had taken that money and finished the show, I would have got the money, but I might never have been the same. I'd never seen these things before. I didn't see anyone else do this and get back up. I didn't see, you know, and the drum beat is crazy, smokes, crack, this is that.
Yeah.
It was a wild experience. The way people close to you react to it, like I had failed or I ruined my life. You know, and then you know, when you're cold, that phone will ring now.
Right.
And then I had over a decade of sitting in that choice, but I didn't languish in just that experience. I started doing stand-up for much better reasons than making it. I still enjoyed it. I started seeing the places where I was performing. Normally, when you're like successful in comedy, you know, you get off the plane or the bus, you do the hit, you go back to the hotel, you get back on the bus, you don't really see anything. You don't really, like even now, like this last run we did here in Austin, it was here for weeks. And then I got to see Austin. I got to find restaurants I like. I met people that I probably called because I'm in town, stuff like that. And it was like that all over the world, not just the country. I started going around just seeing the world. I got overwhelmed with this idea that none of my information was firsthand. I just read it in books or I heard it from friends, and I was eager to just see something for myself. And I kind of entrenched this philosophy that my memories are some of the most valuable things that I have. These firsthand experiences. Can't take that away from if I reminisce on a nice day, then you know it feeds you. Remembering something is neurologically almost identical, I've read, to experiencing it. If politics, man.
Yeah.
Like literally, that's factless. I'm telling you, I'm on my kindness conspiracy. As long as I'm kind to people, like if we live by an ethic of kindness, if we foster trust amongst each other, it will matter less what corporations and politicians say because they build trust our society's cohesiveness.
Yeah.
But if you politicize these things, it's going to become increasingly difficult to come to an understanding and agree. Yeah, it's getting tribal here. I don't know. Well, you know what's funny? I don't even really know what you politically believe or don't believe, but I give a fuck. I get along with you every time I see you. You're funny, you're a nice dude, you laugh about shit, we learn shit from each other. You're from Boston, I'm from DC, two very different types of places and types of cultures. This culture of comedy, this common denominator, makes me feel like we're of the same tribe.
For sure.
And there's trans people in my tribe, and there's white and black and Asian, and all kinds of people, and all of them are committed to this concept of levity, and we all get there different and interesting and unique ways. And what's wrong with that? It works. And we say terrible shit to each other all the fucking time. Everyone's fine.
That was a great video.
Yep.
And I will and here is my actual reaction to the things that he said. Two things crossed my mind that I want to say to you guys watching. What does it profit a man to gain the whole world and lose his soul? And the second thing is, and after this, then you can react to what I'm saying, Lord. Like I said earlier, it's your choice to fuck up your life in whatever way that makes you happy. Nord?
Yeah. Dave has lived by the words of, don't let him change you.
There's a song that was also
pretty much his entire philosophy.
There was a song by Toby Mac that was crossing my mind as I was watching that video. It's called "Speak Life," as in speak, as in speak life to the deadest, darkest night. We inspire people with the words we speak.
Well, sure, but that would be more a message about what's being spoken, whereas what Dave was saying was the content of what is spoken is irrelevant so long as it's honest and from the person as they meant it to be, without being altered, changed, censored, or in any way.
That's exactly what I mean when I say those things, though.
Well, I know, but Toby was probably talking about something completely different. He was probably talking more about don't say negative things to people or don't be negative. Whereas Dave was like, even if I'm negative, what you have to understand is it's for a purpose.
Yeah. It's to serve a higher power to a degree.
Well, the thing is that in Dave's case, it's not a higher power, it's just himself.
That's true.
I mean, that's not to say that his comedy is self-serving. His comedy is all-serving. It's not just about, worshiping or whatever. It's not even about glory. It's just about getting people to adjust themselves to what comedy means. If people don't like comedy, fine. But people define comedy so variously that it loses its definition. That's not good.
Yeah.
I mean, if comedy is social critique, no, that's satire. See? But if you make it funny, then it becomes comedy again. See, comedy has to be funny. And funny is not defined by any one person, but funny is part of comedy. You try to remove funny from comedy, it's not comedy anymore.
Yeah.
It's something else. It's just social commentary at that point.
Yeah.
Which is fine, but it isn't comedy.
I agree.
And Dave's a comedian. You'll never change Dave. You'll never get Dave to not be a comedian.
He's one of the best.
Yeah. He is. But more importantly, he's never going to not be one. So everything he does is going to be for funny purposes, not for your feelings or making a social impact or using his platform or whatever the hell you guys come up with over there on Twitter. It is for funny. He worships funny. And he's friends with and allies with anyone else that sees funny as a worthwhile goal.
Yeah.
That is his job. That is his life's work. That is his legacy. The concept of being funny.
I will end my thoughts on Dave Chapelle with simply this. Everything he drops is quality.
Yeah, that too. Yes.
But since you had us watching something, that was your video suggestion, here's mine. This is one of my videos. It's called Drew Reacts Citizen Soldier by 3 Doors Down, and thank you, Mara. So, to you guys in the community that I'm from, I encourage you guys to watch that, especially the end of it where I am thanking Mara for her service to our country because she is a war veteran. And also, thank you for everything that she's done for Drewdet Games on Twitch. And basically to draw attention to what I'm doing. So, I encourage you guys to watch that video, tweet it out, make sure Mara notices that it exists so she can see it too. Because I tweeted it out, no one cared. So, it's up to you guys to draw attention to it now. I did my part, now you guys need to do yours. That follow and subscribe to the channel, so that's my suggestion. With that, do you have anything coming up that you're going to be doing on your channel or anything? Are you going to be doing anything with your Twitch for fuck's sake?
I should get that up and going at some point. I think it would be helpful.
Yeah,
but
for the sake of me actually plugging the fact that Desert Nord does have a Twitch channel, it basically doesn't exist, but he has one.
Yeah. There's nothing to see there.
Yeah, because he's never done anything with it.
Yeah.
And and like once a year I keep saying, do something with your Twitch channel.
Start poking it with a stick.
Start streaming. Poke, poke, poke.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I don't have any specifics on that, but yeah, I should get it going on Twitch. Just for community's sake.
With that in mind for me, on DrewDat Games, there is content for you guys to see now. Let me bring that up here on the screen. That recently got ported over from Twitch, which has no views yet. It was Drew Plays Resident Evil Village on Halloween, in which I was dressed up in my Kylo Ren costume for the entire stream, because it was Halloween yesterday. And that's about an hour and 47 minutes long. I've also been trying to get back to Horizon Zero Dawn. There's a couple episodes of that up. 10 minutes and 21 minutes, respectively. I'm going to try to do longer streams of that coming up. But beyond that, for stuff coming out for games at least, because that's what I'm talking about here. This week, Call of Duty Vanguard comes out. I do have that pre-ordered. I will be playing that at launch. I will be playing through the campaign, but first I got to get through fucking Cold War's campaign first. Which that's what I'm going to be playing off stream at this point. Just to try to slam through the fucking thing finally. Because I don't know how long the campaign for Cold War is. Bro?
Yeah, I don't know how long it is either.
But also with that, in about a week, maybe two, maybe less, Forza Horizon 5 drops, so I'll be playing that from Game Pass. Skyrim 10th Anniversary Edition comes out like 10 days from right now. We still don't know how much they're going to sell it for, if it's a full release game, if it's a paid update, if it's a free update, what the fuck's going on with it. We still don't know. And it's 10 days away from effectively coming out or releasing. So, as usual, Bethesda doesn't know how to fucking market their shit. And then after that, next month in December, Halo Infinite. So that's what's coming up on my plate. Call of Duty Vanguard, Forza Horizon 5. Figure out what the fuck is going on with Skyrim 10th Anniversary Edition, and if I'm even going to do anything with it. And then Halo next month. And then beyond that, trying to finish Cold War, Far Cry 6, and get back to the backlog. And also attempt to do PlayStation Plus and Games with Gold games throughout November as well. So I'm going to be really busy with a lot of game shit.
Yep.
Which means there's probably going to be like a month again or so till we do another Breaking Rocks. At this point.
Yeah.
But who knows? If there's something really major to talk about, we'll do an episode for one topic then, if we have to.
Yeah, we'll do it if we have to.
For example, the only thing I could perceive doing an episode for one topic would be if Biden gets impeached or something. I don't know.
Well, that's a whole other story now, isn't it?
Yeah, if that happens, you'll see us the same day, so. I'm just saying, guys. But with that being said, that's what I got coming up. Are you going to be doing a video on your YouTube anytime soon?
Well, I don't have anything planned, but I do try to get them out every other week, at least one, so.
Well, we'll see what that is, because you got some new subs to your channel that I directed there.
Yeah,
So.
I gotta try and turn the content, steer it a little further away from just pure politics.
Yeah. But
So,
but as the new subs pointed out to me that they, well, at least in Chunk the Punk's case, he found your meme of me playing Star Wars Squadrons to be his favorite video. So,
yeah,
but
which is fine because I mean that's gamer community likes gaming stuff. So, you know.
but at the same time, it's about me. So I'm starting to feel like that he's a male simp for me.
I don't know. Maybe at some point you find, oh my god, it's a woman. I'm kidding.
Yeah, except for
Finkel Einhorn.
except for I'm not gay.
You know.
And I'm pretty sure that Chunk isn't either, because he always goes on about boobs in the chat.
Yeah.
From time to
I'm not
time.
accusing anything.
So I'm fairly certain that we both swing the same way, opposite from each other.
Yeah.
And generally towards the same people, Mara and Steph.
Understandable.
And I would toward Kristinova, but she's my internet sister, so it would be weird.
Yeah.
But with all that being said, it's been an hour and 11 minutes now, which is very long for only four, with initially only 4 things.
Indeed.
But we managed to stretch it out with other shit. So, yeah. Like I said, my Hollywood, Halloween stream from Twitch is up on YouTube on Judat Games. Go watch that. It's got no views after 21 hours, guys. So please go check that out. Hit the like, share it out, and all of that. And yeah, and also check out the preview for the event on November 15th for Xbox, the 20th anniversary event, and the State of Play, which happened this same day at the time of the recording of the Judat Games podcast from 4 days ago. Which on Wednesday we will record the next episode number 40, I think it is. Yeah.
Yeah, it probably is, yeah.
Episode number 40 of the Judat Games podcast, in which we actually go over what was shown at it at that point. That will be Wednesday. And at the time of recording of this is Monday, so in about 2 days or so, at about the same time, give or take, we'll be recording that. So.
Yep.
So anything else to add?
I don't think so.
Alright, so you can find me on Xbox Live as Judat Games, on PlayStation Network as well, as and also on Nintendo Switch Online as Judat GMS, which is short for games, and also on Twitter as dat_Drew. You can follow me there as well. You can find Desert Nord. Can I plug you on Xbox Live?
Yeah, sure.
You can find Desert Nord as, what's your gamer tag?
Desert Nord 26.
Oh yeah, I see it on screen. Never mind. Desert Nord 26 on Xbox Live.
Yeah.
So that way, when Among Us comes out in this, shit, I forgot about Among Us. Among Us comes out in December. You can join us to. Actually, I think I got someone to join that with us. One of my followers, Joshy, might join us for Among Us because that's supposed to be in Game Pass. So
yeah, that'll be fun.
So that's 3 now. You, me, and Joshy. So, but we'll see who else we can get for Among Us. But yeah, what was I saying before I remembered Among Us?
Yeah, you were just talking about the games that you had planned and all that.
Well, yeah. I already said that, so yeah. You can find Desert Nord on Xbox Live. Send him a friend request so we can all play games together.
Yeah.
Like Joshy, me, Desert Nord, and anyone else who has Xbox Live from the community. So.
Yep.
And that's anything else you want to plug other than your YouTube and that? Nord? I think you just died. Desert Nord, yoo-hoo. Are you alive, sir?
Yeah, no, I think it's just a spotty connection at the moment. I don't know.
Did
If you can hear me, hopefully you can hear me.
Did you hear what I said?
No, it kind of cut out there for a minute.
I was asking, was there anything outside of your YouTube and Xbox Live that you wanted to plug of yours?
No, I was just saying that those are like the main two that matter. So.
And your Twitch channel, so people will know that one day maybe you'll do something with it.
Yeah.
What's the name of your Twitch channel?
It's the same. It's Desert Nord.
It's just Desert Nord, the same as your YouTube.
Yeah.
Alright, so
Same logo, in fact.
just like it is for Drewdet Games, except for on Twitch it's all lowercase and it's Drew_det_games with 2 S's. So
Yep.
that's the only difference for Twitch for me. Otherwise, it's the exact same logo, same name and everything as Desert Nord's YouTube. You can find him on Twitch, even though I'm still trying to prod him into doing shit with it.
Yeah, we both prod each other about things, don't we?
Yeah, more so me than you. Maybe I should start putting the prod on an open fire first.
Yeah, well, we got a first month starting today, so hey.
Yeah, and Games with Gold is supposed to go live today, so I got to look into that.
Yeah.
And see what will actually be done anytime soon this week for playing any of those, if I have any time at any point.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the intention is to try to bring back a version of Free Play Friday, but it's either Games with Gold or PlayStation Plus every other week. At that point.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Well, with all of that said, we've rambled for way the fuck too long. We will see you guys on the next episode of Breaking Rocks. This has turned into an episode of Breaking Rocks / Drewdet Games podcast, apparently.
Yeah.
We'll see you guys next time. Well, on Wednesday on Drewdet Games channel for the Drewdet Games podcast, which this kind of turned into. To go over the PlayStation event that happened about 4 days ago. We'll see you then, guys. Have yourselves a great rest of your day, and I'll see you guys on Twitch. It's Monday, so tomorrow at some point. Later, guys.
Yep, we'll see you guys. Bye-bye.